This is how to make a Christmas bauble, or keyring, can be used for anything really. Now we have an outside ring for the outside of the bauble, an inside ring for the inside of the bauble, the text we want to put in the inside and then cut out without it cutting out all of the pieces, so we end up with lots of pieces on the laser. Now I've pre-set these up just to make the video a little bit shorter, but obviously at the left hand side you can see the circles and the shapes that you want to select. To get this round over edge on this top section, you just select it, and if you look at the top here you'll see where you can change the dimensions and curvature of it. I use 3.0. This will give you this nice curve edge like that. So we need to put this section on top of the bauble. Now you can't really fit it like that, you have to overlap it, but don't worry about it overlapping. Once you've got it into a place that you're happy with, obviously select all by clicking near it, holding the mouse down, selecting over it. Once you've done that, if you look at this top section here, you'll see the two squares that are joined. Obviously you've got different ones for different parts, which we will use on the text and the other parts in a minute, which I'll show you. So if we click bond these two together, it's them two together now. So when it will cut out, it will cut the circle with the top section. Obviously we've got the cut out for the hole. I've not changed the size or colour or anything, just so I can show you how to do that on this bit. Obviously we want hairline, so it's a small line, and then obviously we want it as red, 255 if you didn't already know. So let's pick this up and let's put it where we want it. So that's how your bauble would cut out if you was just cutting out the bauble. If you was just rastering the text on there, you could just drop the bauble in, adjust the size of your text to the size that you want, and then pop it wherever you want, and that'll be your bauble cut out with a raster insert. But obviously we're going to be making this as a cut out text bauble, so let's just move the text back out of there. Now what you want to do is click on the text again at the left hand side, highlight all of the text, come to the right hand side and you see where this says AV 0%. Now if we start moving this, as you can see, the text will start moving together. So obviously we've got a join. Now sometimes you'll get this gap where the Y and the D won't go together, or whatever letters you're using at the time. If I keep going, this D will be all the way over that A before the Y even touches the D. So to combat that, what you have to do is always remember that first letter that's selected, which would be the A, doesn't move. It's only the letters that are after. So if we just click off that, go back on it, select the D and the Y, and then minus again. As you can see, the D doesn't move, but the Y does. So obviously now that's joined. So we can click off that. We're happy with the join at the bottom, we're happy with the join on the Y. If you're not, you can obviously just select again and then move them a bit closer, however much overlap you actually want to use, depending on how strong you obviously wanted the join. So now we need to change the colour, so we need it to cut out. So we'll change the outside lettering, the outside perimeter to red. Don't forget to select it. Then for the outside, select red. The inside we're not going to do a raster, so we'll just select nothing, white. Obviously you can see at the bottom of the A and the B, A and the D overlaps, and the D and the Y overlaps. Now if we just went and tried this, it would cut that all out, which we don't want. So if you go to objects at the top, scroll down to shaping, obviously weld isn't available. Bonding is, shaping is. Now when I was obviously first doing this, people kept saying select it, so obviously I did how it appears on the screen now. Didn't work. Hence why I'm doing this video. So if we click back onto the cursor icon on the left hand side, and then select the object, like we've done on the circle at the top, then we go to objects, then we go to weld, it'll weld it all together as one. So it's now all joined, no overlaps, and everything's joined together. Now we need to put it on the inside of the bauble. Then we want to select how big we want it. So that's the overlap just on this corner, and obviously you can see the overlap on the wire on the end. Click back on the desktop again, select all, but this time we're not going to use the weld feature, we're going to use this one at the top. But we're not using the same as the first, so we want it to be back to front is the one you want to use, which is the one that my mouse is over. If we click that, you'll see that it now joins with no overlap, so it'll cut out the text, but because this isn't a ball of itself and it's inside the ball, which we'll just grab now, it won't cut out and fall out. So move it into a place wherever you're happy with it. Don't forget your inside bauble, your inside cut, sorry. So let's just move this up. And there you go. So obviously the outside will be cut, but it will do the inside first. So this bit where my mouse is, it'll cut all of this section out first. It'll cut this section, then this section. Go from here, round, and then obviously the last section will be the outside. The circle will be the first on the cut, usually is. So that's how you actually cut a bauble and join the bauble together. Don't forget when you're obviously selecting your colour that you've already changed your colour palette to 255 red and it's RGB, because if you're in CorelDrew usually it'll be under this or one of the others, but it's RGB and it's 255 red. Click OK, and there's your bauble. Don't forget when you're saving this, you don't want to save the whole paper. If you want to move the whole thing in one, do the same principle as before, select, move into the middle of the page, select the page, and at the top you can see that you can make the page smaller or bigger. So let's just try 120. So obviously my bauble's bigger. So if we're in this situation we want to make it smaller, because we think that bauble's too big, you can select all, make it smaller, and it will all make smaller as one. So there'll be no funny bits onto it. Obviously make it smaller again for the up and down, too small, so we'll just go back up a little bit until we're happy. We can move that down a little bit more, we've got a bit at the bottom. And then when you save, obviously you won't have it cut in on a A4 page when you don't need it to. Obviously you can make multiple baubles next to each other as close as you can, save material for when you're making these, and then obviously you can do one run with a lot, or you can just do one-off baubles as you go, depending on the name. Obviously, once you've bonded all this together, you can't undo it unless you go to edit. If you make a mistake, you can click undo edit properties, and you can go back and keep going back until you get to where you've found your mistake, and then you can fix your mistake.